A man in his life goes on experiencing joys, sorrows, successes, failures, worries, shames and glories in his lifetime. He is happy only when he meets success in these. He suffers when he fails. Sometimes, because of the hardships life gives him, he does not like living in this world, and decides to commit suicide. Some people lose hope in life, because of the suffering they go through. When we discuss this with elders, they motivate us, by telling us their experiences in life. Some people like that. Many will not like it. What life really is. Why does life give us suffering? Why are only people around you happy in life? What should you do to be happy? Now you are going to hear a story to show that. A big country. It has beautiful rivers, huge waterfalls and mountain ranges. There were some lively men in that country. For example, there was a temple in that country. Daily puja is done in that temple. All people participate in this puja. A person who went to attend the puja, he was standing outside the temple looking for his shoes. A man who had been looking at it for a long time, came to him and asked, "Haven't you got your shoes yet?" He asked. He said, "I have got my shoes. I am looking for better than my shoes." Such people also lived in that country. The king of that country has been unwell for a long time. He remains lying on the bed. His mind is very upset. The reason for that is, that when he was a young king, he had fought and conquered many countries. Because of that he earned many enemies. The news of his unwell spread to all the kings of the country. They can invade this country anytime. The king of this country has no children. So he had a responsibility to decide who should rule this country next. So, he was lying on the bed more dejected. Then the king called the ministers there. The king said to them, "I am very worried. I could not sleep peacefully. There is a possibility that I will face a huge dilemmatic situation in the future. If I am caught in that situation, bring me a mantra that will save me from it. I will keep it with my diamond ring," said the king. All the ministers were struggling to find that mantra. They could not find that mantra. They met and conversed with the elders and magicians who lived in that country. But a powerful mantra was not available from them either. So the anxious ministers stopped the carriage, and sat under a tree in the forest. Then a Buddha, who was passing by, saw the ministers and came to him. "Ministers, why are you so sad?" asked the Buddha. To that the minister said, "Our king is very ill." The king said him, to come up with a mantra that would save him from his dilemmatic situation. We also discussed with elders living in this country. But we couldn't find that mantra, he said. Buddha said to him, "Okay, I will write down a mantra. But you shouldn't read it." Buddha wrote the mantra on a piece of paper, and gave it to the minister. The ministers also took the mantra, and went to the palace. Then they put the paper inside the king's diamond ring. A few months passed. The king of neighboring country, hearing the news of the king's ill health, invaded that country. The neighboring king was very strong, and his army was very strong. Due to ill health, this king could not properly lead his country and its army. The neighboring king has conquered this country. Neighboring king's soldiers chased the ailing king, to kill him. The ailing king climbed a nearby mountain, using a horse standing on the battlefield. The soldiers of the neighboring country were also chasing the king. The king, who was running on his horse, went to the top of the mountain. Can't go beyond that, because next to it was a huge crater. So the king hid himself between a big rock nearby. The king was sitting very scared. The king did not know what to do next. It was evening and the sun was setting. Then the sunlight fell on the diamond ring he wore on his hand. The diamond ring started to shine. When the king saw it, he remembered that the ministers had given us a mantra written on a piece of paper, We read the mantra in it. We can escape from that problem when we are faced with a difficult situation in life. So he opened the diamond ring and took the paper in his hand. "This too shall pass away," was written on the paper. After reading it, the king remained silent for some time. The king had a little hope in his mind that we would escape. A few hours later, the soldiers came to the mountain and looked for the king. But they could not find the king, as he had disappeared under the rock. So they went back. The king escaped and sneaked back into his country, formed a new army, and after many years, again conquered his country. After conquering his country, his neighboring kings became very afraid of him. He felt happy that I had raised an army and won back my country, even though I was unwell. That happiness turned to arrogance after a while. Then suddenly the diamond ring started to shine. The king opened the diamond ring and saw it. Then he read what was written on the paper there, "This too shall pass away." Seeing that, the king understood what life is. You will face various difficult situations in your life. In the future also you will have to face many difficult situations in your life. Then try this mantra. A belief will arise in your mind. Nothing is permanent, all too shall pass away.